Okay, just one moment. I hope you can all see that screen correctly. My name's Emma McLaughlin. You'll have to, excuse me, this is the first time I've ever done a webinar. So if we have any hiccups, it's the learning curve for next time. And funnily enough, I'm just as nervous doing it here when I can't see anybody's face as I would be standing in front of a big group of people. So just bear with me as I learn. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. I'm Emma McLaughlin. I'll be running through some slideshows tonight, so it won't be a camera to camera webinar. I'm a naturopath and I practice at Kingscliff. I have a small clinic called Kingscliff Clinical Naturopathy, which I've been operating now for about 6 months. It's lovely. I work in here with a clinical psychologist as well as a chiropractor. So it's a really nice unit to working together to deal with people's health. And it's in a nice seaside town, if you don't know Kingscliff. But I do Skype consults, so no matter where you are, I can always see you if you're interested in naturopathy consults. It makes it much easier now being able to have access online. So moving on to what we're talking about tonight, I'd like to talk a little bit about what is naturopathy because, well, it's a mouthful to start, but there are still so many people when they ask me what I do who aren't sure. They may have heard about it on television or read about it in magazines or spoken to people, but there are a lot of myths and we're all a little bit different. So I like to try and dispel a few of the myths and enlighten you a little bit and give you a chance to have a think about if you think it might be the right thing for you, if it's something you're considering. So first I'm just going to run through the basic naturopathic principles, and these are the things when we study at uni or college that they teach us in the first year, and this is the basis of what we sort of relate our practice around. So firstly, do no harm. This is sort of using methods and medicines that minimise the risk of harmful side effects. So we tend to use a lot of natural, herbal medicines or nutritional supplements, but we try to go for the gentlest route at all times. Treat the cause of disease. We're always trying to find the underlying root cause of what is going on, and this is really important. It's not putting a band-aid on something. It's not treating symptoms. It's actually trying to dig and uncover what is actually causing whatever is going on with your health. Teach the principles of healthy living and preventative medicine. And this goes back to that old Latin term docere, doctor as teacher. And this is big. I really find a lot of people I see in practice want to know more about their health. They want to know more about what may be going wrong with their health, what they should be eating, what they should be putting in their bodies. And I think sometimes there's a bit of an overload of information these days. And Dr. Google can be both friend and foe. But quite often people come to me and they just want to be able to get some solid grounded advice on what is healthy and what is not. And a huge part of what I do is actually be able to teach people that so that you can go away and implement it yourself and take back control of your own health. Heal the whole person through individualized treatment. So every treatment is individualized. I see people on a one-on-one basis, and I think one of the biggest gifts that we have as naturopaths is being able to give you the gift of time. GPs are under such stringent time confines these days. You've got to be in and out so quickly. In those days where you used to go and talk to your little local GP about diet and exercise and all these sort of things have gone out the window. And with that, we've seen a huge increase in lifestyle preventative diseases. And that's where I find we really have our strength, is that we can really sit down with you, give you the time, be able to educate you about diet and exercise and do all those things that can prevent ill health or turn around those lifestyle preventative diseases. And make it specific for you, because we are all so different. Our situations are different. And the beauty of that is that I actually get down to sit to sit down with you and work out what you're also able to do at this point in time. So it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. If I were to see 3 different people in regards to weight loss, it would all be different because I would have to dig and find out what was behind the weight loss in the first place. And person number 1 might simply be eating a really poor diet. Person number 2 may, upon questioning, appear to have a lot of thyroid issues, and I may send them off for testing and find out that yes, that's true, and that could be driving it. And person number 3 could be something totally different. Once again, it could be psychological. It could be something that I would refer on to a psychologist to sort of delve into deeper. And treatment would be different. So stages of change, person number 1 might be ready to tackle the dietary changes, jump right on. But if you're going from eating a fairly poor diet, I'm not going to send you away first time round asking you to eat lentils and quinoa and all of that first off the bat. We've got to start gradually. For some people, they might want to go a bit quicker, but it's a very individualized treatment, and it's really, really exciting. And people like coming and sitting down and actually talking about themselves and having a plan that's drawn up specifically for them to follow. Emphasizing prevention. This is really important. Prevention, most of our diseases these days could be prevented by lifestyle change. So, the highest on the national health list at the moment, in order to be tackled, and is what is costing the country the most money, are things like heart disease, their mental health, which is huge, diabetes, obesity, a lot of these lifestyle preventative diseases. So whilst quite often people come to see me once they're already at a state of health that needs repairing, with every person there is also that goal to be able to change or alter or better lifestyle so that we're preventing further disease later on down the track. And supporting the healing power of the body. This goes back to that sort of ideal that our bodies have this innate ability to heal themselves. So they actually, we know how to heal. Our bodies know how to heal. They know how to work properly. Sometimes we get off track and we need a bit of guidance. We need a bit of help to come back onto track. But we should be able to then change our lifestyle, change the way we eat, change the way we exercise, change the way, our emotional health, our relationships, all of these things, so that we are totally healthy. And that holistic ideal then comes into this. So that ideal that, health is influenced by all of these things in our life: diet, lifestyle, exercise, or how much we move, the people we spend our time with. Are we in negative relationships? Our environment, are we living in a healthy environment? Workplace, there are so many factors, spirituality, that can impact on our health. So we have to take into consideration all of those possible things that can impact there. And I'm going to give some opportunities for people to ask questions. So do hold on to your questions. We will get to that. But I'll just run through some of the basics first. So naturopathy is a multi-modality practice, and this is where some of the confusion may lie. Naturopathy is sort of an umbrella term, and as naturopaths, we quite often practice several modalities. They can include some of these, and they may include more, or they may include less. It depends on the naturopath. So personally, I really focus a lot on nutrition with people. Herbal medicine I utilise, and I find it works really, really well in order just to be able to make that shift if people often need that in terms of health. Lifestyle advice is huge. Health coaching is a big part of it, and counselling comes into it somewhat as well. Massage is something I use as an aside if people need it. Quite often I will refer people off to other specialists. So I utilise counselors and psychologists, or remedial massage therapists, or osteopaths, or chiros. I'll often refer people off to GPs, and it's always one of the first things I do when I sit down with somebody is make sure that there is nothing outside my scope of practice, and that I then do refer should I need to, and safety should always be paramount in regards to how we practice. So I'll go into a bit more about what we treat and where the lines are. Some naturopaths also, there are other modalities that they may practice. So homeopathy may be one you've heard of. Some people are just straight homeopaths. Some people are naturopaths who include homeopathy as one of their modalities. And there are other sort of energetic medicines quite often that people will include, bat flower remedies, or some people include things like Reiki or other healing arts. Some people have extra skills. They might have chiropractic skills, or so it is quite an individualized practice, and every naturopath you see will be different. So some areas of health that we do cover, and this is where sometimes the lines can get a bit blurry, and people like to know, but generally we can help in a lot of different areas. Stress is probably one of the biggest ones that I see in my practice, and stress-related disorders. So, stress is one of the biggest players in ill health in any situation. It's always something I delve into a lot with people, and find out, what are the stresses in your life? How do you cope with them? Sometimes I see people in a state of adrenal fatigue, or where stress has been ongoing for too long, and people have been in that fight or flight situation for too long, and eventually that can end in exhaustion, which is very common. And very common I see, with working mothers, or business owners, people who are go, which is very common in this day and age. And it's something that I can really relate with, because I've got 2 young children. My university degree should have taken me 4 years to complete. It took me 6.5 because I had my beautiful babies. But, upon finishing that and then starting up a business and still looking after the kids, and, I absolutely understand what it's like to push yourself to the threshold. And not just women, men as well, but it's something I see a lot of. And in order to prevent burnout with people, I find naturopathy is wonderful. So really getting people back to some of the basics of exercising, what to eat, where people are falling down, being able to try and support them there, and using supplements if needed, to support the body, to be able to get through times of stress. Anxiety is another one that I see an awful lot of in clinic, and it is also something that is quite easily alleviated. It's something that I will 9 times out of 10 look after with a psychologist or a counsellor. So it's really nice to be able to get both aspects of care there together. But I find quite often we can just sort of bring people down off that heightened anxiety or that falling into panic attacks mode, and do that very successfully. Depression falls into this to some extent as well, and depression is something that can be tailored, but I do always work in with other health providers, especially if people are on other meds, to make sure that we're doing the right thing, and that we're not contraindicating any of the meds with herbs, or making sure that people are getting the full bill of care that they deserve. So hormonal encompasses quite a few different situations. It could encompass people with who believe that they've got hormonal imbalances in regards to menstruation, or symptoms around menstruation, anything really with the female or male reproductive systems. So, menopause is a huge one, and that's a wonderful one to treat naturopathically. Women get a lot of relief quite quickly, and because for some women it can be very debilitating. It can really impact on day-to-day life, sleep and energy levels, and it is something that your options aren't always that great. And I see a lot of successful situations using herbs, and a lot of happy women after that. But other life stages as well. So fertility is a big one. Also pregnancy care and postpartum care in hormonal balancing and just general nurturing of the body and making sure you're getting all the right nutrients and looking after yourself. And other hormonal sort of situations that could fall into there are thyroid disorders or hormonal imbalances to do with thyroid or the adrenal glands or any of the other endocrine systems. So immunity is another one. Quite often people just want to generally boost their immune systems, and immunity can underlie a lot of different situations. So there's autoimmune allergies as well. The immune system plays into those as well as other areas. And it's generally something I look into, whether people come to see me specifically about immunity or not, make sure that those systems are all working correctly. Autoimmunity can be quite a long process for people, but one that they get a lot of relief in, because sometimes some of the other methods, people are often searching for relief or searching for answers, or and I find that a really, really interesting area and something we can definitely help with. So that might be situations like rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes type 1, Hashimoto's, thyroiditis, or Graves' disease. There are quite a few other autoimmune situations. Celiac disease. And yeah, that's gut disorders are a whole different thing. That's another thing we see a lot of. People have got tummy troubles, IBS, or inflammatory bowel diseases, or just general digestive issues is something we deal with a lot. Allergies, asthma, food allergies, obviously. Weight loss is something that we can do very, very well. Acute situations. So people might come in just for cold and flu relief or urinary tract infection relief, and general lifestyle change. Sometimes people just want a real overhaul of diet and lifestyle, and that's something that we can also offer. So are we alternative or are we complementary? And this also comes back to your practitioner, where we are a little bit different, and I really like to view myself as a complementary as opposed to an alternative practitioner. Sometimes people see you because they don't like the mainstream medical paradigm, and that's okay with me as long as it's not a situation that I think you should be receiving care for in both areas. So that might be somebody with cancer. There's no way in the world that I would treat cancer or even claim I could treat cancer. But I do see people who are either going through treatment or a post-treatment who actually just want that support, that nutritional support, that lifestyle support. And once again, it's really important for me to be working in with their other health practitioners, their GPs, their specialists, and make sure that we're doing the right thing. So I like to see myself almost more as an allied health specialist, and that, I will certainly be working in with your other health practitioners. And I'm very mainstream in my approach. So everything that I practice is evidence-based medicine. I've got a university degree that's based in health sciences and goes a lot deeper into evidence-based herbal medicine and nutrition. So that's the angle that I come from. Okay, this is my lovely little office space, my clinic space in Kingscliff. And I just thought I'd like to briefly run through with you a typical session so you get an idea of what it's actually like going to a naturopath, because if you've never been, it is a little bit of a mystery. And so say you were to ring me up and book a consulting with me. I'd have a quick chat to you on the phone and make sure firstly that this is the right thing for you, but also to have a chat about whether you need to do go and see your GP beforehand to get any tests done or anything like that. And then I would send you an email which would contain far too many questions. But I always say that being a naturopath is a little bit like being a detective, and part of building that symptom picture of what is going on with you is one of my greatest skill sets, to be able to find out what is going on. And I want to know about what is happening with you in your health at the moment, your past health history, your family health history. I want to know about the symptoms, not only that you're coming in about, other things that's disturbing you, but I will dig and I will find out if there are any other symptoms that you may not think are related, or you may sort of just gotten used to dealing with, that I actually see a link into. And that comes back to that getting to the root cause of the problem and finding out, the cause of disease or the cause of illness, or what is actually going on underneath. And you have to dig, and you have to ask a lot of questions. So what I usually send people an email first up and get a lot of that out of the way before you would come in for your first session, so that it leaves us more time to actually be able to come up with a plan, have a chat about other things, and dig a little bit deeper again. A first session would typically be anywhere between an hour and an hour and a half long. And you'd come in, sit down, have a nice cup of herbal tea, have a chat. We get to know each other. I think the relationship that you end up building with your clients and that they end up building with you is very important in determining the success of treatment. And this is where it's important to find a practitioner that you're going to connect with. It's like anybody, the GP you probably have that you've stuck with for years is the GP that you connect with after maybe trying several different GPs. The same, if you see a chiropractor or just basically the people that you hang out with. If you're going to make the most progress, you need to be able to find somebody who you think you can connect with, and someone who might practice the way that you want to practice. I had a woman phone me up the other day, and her question to me on the phone was, do I do that naturopathic testing? And I wasn't sure which naturopathic testing she was referring to, and I told her that I generally do a lot of my testing, if required, through GPs, if I'm looking for nutritional deficiencies, or, I want to rule out celiac disease, or, Crohn's disease, or anything with people. And, there are a couple of other tests that I can send off to do, but other than that, and basic urinary testing in clinic and that sort of thing, I don't really do anything that's specifically special naturopathic testing. And she said, I know, I went to a naturopath once, and he had this machine, and it told him all this information, and he wired me up to it, and it had all this, beeped and did all these things, and it was wonderful. And look, it's that she really wanted somebody who had a machine like this, and it's not my thing. I prefer to ask people questions, dig into it, use, sort of more mainstream methods. And I told her about what I did and said, look, if you want to come back and book in for an appointment, give me a call back, not a problem. But she wouldn't have been happy coming to see me, because she was looking for a different style of practitioner, and she will have better results with that style of practitioner because it's something that will resonate with her. So yeah, it's just a very important point to be able to search and find somebody that you like and you'll connect with. So back to a typical session. Typical session, you'll come in, you'll sit down, we'll connect, we'll have a chat, we'll find out what's going on, and then we'll talk about coming up with a plan. And we talk about what your goals are. We talk about what are the things that you really want to get on top of most. We talk about what's going on with your life at the moment and what is achievable for you. And we will usually start off with small achievable steps, because one of the biggest things is we are trying to put in place lifestyle changes that are going to stick, and are going to become part of your healthier lifestyle in a way that is going to not be difficult for you, because some of these things can be quite tricky, but in a way that's going to work for you in your lifestyle and your situation. And so, we talk about what is going to work for you. Start off in small steps, come up with a short-term plan, a longer-term plan, so we know where we're heading. And quite often then people will come back to see me, depending on what's going on with them, maybe 2 weeks down the track, maybe 4 weeks down the track. Some people only need the first session and that's it. And the second session then comes down to being able to keep in touch and keep on top of things. So, we might have made a few changes, and you'll come back second session and I'll say, how did you go with these things? And you'll say, oh, well, I haven't been doing any exercise, but I have improved my diet, and I've done this and this and this, and I found that really tricky, but I love my herbs. So, we'll check in. We'll find out what's going on with you, where you're up to. You know, what we might need to change or tailor. You might be moving really quickly and I'll say, hey, great, let's speed this up. It might be a bit more of a struggle. We might slow it down. We might need to change a few things. So I find that being able to build up a connection with somebody, being able to have that ongoing support is really, really important for a lot of people in their situation, and able to be able, you know, to achieve those milestones, achieve success, cement those changes, to make them long-lasting changes, not just something that you're going to try for 1 week and then go back to your normal set of steps afterwards. So that's sort of it in a nutshell. How long will it take to get better? And this is a very, very important question, and one that is actually very, very tricky to answer, because it really does depend on your individual situation. It depends on what is going on. Some things, obviously, in an acute situation, like if you've got a cold or whatever, that's quick. Other things, especially chronic situations that have been going on for a long time, can take a lot longer. Autoimmune conditions can take quite a long time. You know, people often start to see changes in the first 1 to 2 weeks, which is fantastic. So, you know, for instance, I had a menopause patient who came and she was waking with night sweats where about 6 times a night, where she'd wake up and her sheets were completely flooded. And you know, she was a woman, obviously, and I think a lot of women going through menopause are at the prime of their career. And she said, look, I'm struggling at work, I'm exhausted. And I said, of course you are. It's like going back to having babies again, you know, waking up 6 times a night to change your sheets. And we made her up a herbal tonic and we got her on that. And she rang me within, you know, the first 1 to 2 weeks and said, I can't believe it. I've gone from waking 6 times a night, flooding the sheets with sweat, to waking up once hot. You know, I'm starting to regain energy at work. I'm starting to, and that, you know, that was a fantastic, fantastic result. In saying that, in order for you to maintain hormonal change like that, it's going to take about 3 months to get, you know, the sort of full hormonal response that you want to get. And for some people that will be enough to change it. For others, it might be 6 months, it might be a year, it might be 2, depending on what is going on, how much of a hormonal upheaval they're in. And this can be applied to any situation. It is something that is very difficult to tell, and there is never a quick fix. There is never a quick pill, or if I had a magic wand in order to be able to fix people quickly, then I absolutely always would. But it's something we try to sort of get to in the first consult and talk about how long I think that treatment will take them, and we'll try to touch on base as we go so that people know what they're committing to, and have a bit of an idea of what's going to be happening. But yeah, every situation is individual, so that can be tricky. Now, I just want to give everyone an opportunity to ask some questions. If you can type into that little box there if you have any questions. Okay. No one has any questions now, but that's fine. And it's probably a little bit easier. What I was going to suggest is that I I'm offering a free 15-minute phone consult to anybody who'd like to ring and actually have a chat about what's going on with you at the time. So, you know, over the next few days, if you want to give me a call, 0423 384 603, I'd absolutely be really happy to sit down and have a 15-minute chat with you. Alternately, you can always email me, and that's emma@kingscliffnaturopathy.com.au, and with a time at night and your phone number, and I will give you a buzz and have a chat to you over the next few days. Because that's sort of the end of what I'm going to talk about in regards to naturopathy. There is so much more that I could go into, and you know, if you want to email me questions afterwards, that's absolutely fine as well. But what I'm going to jump into now is what the other half of the session, and I'm just going to move my little pointer back and get this back up here, which is New Year's health resolutions, and how we can put them in place so that they last. You know, it's this time of year again. It's getting crazy. We will very soon be thinking about what we want to do in regards to New Year's health resolutions or New Year's resolutions in general. And then it's probably going to get started and then go out the window. If that's happened to any of you before, I know it's happened to me plenty of times. So this year I sort of sat down and I had to think about what can we do to try and tap into that wonderful time of year, because it's quite a special thing if you think about it, New Year's health resolutions, and you know, the energy that sort of comes with that, the thoughts about making change and you know, what might need change in our lives and how to go about it. What is hard is actually holding on to that and running with it, or even knowing where to start for some people. So this year I've come up with some programs, your New Year's health resolution, a series of programs that might be good for you if you're sort of looking at any of these. So, you know, if you're looking to energize and revitalize, if you really know that you need some really good stress relief, if you're looking to lose some weight and skinny on down, if you are looking for freedom from anxiety, a menopause cool down, fertility boost, or digestive repair. You know, not limited to any of these. If you don't fit into any of these and you think, actually, I really need a New Year's health resolution overhaul, give me a call, find out if you can fit into this, and I'm sure that we will be able to tailor it to you as well. These are just sort of an overview of the main ones that come to mind that people will come to see me for at this time of year. So basically, when it comes to New Year's health resolutions, you need a plan. And look, if your health has been troubling you, do not put it off any longer. Jump on it. Health is one of those things that the longer you put it off, the worse generally it gets. Some people not so much. If you're jumping on it and fixing it, absolutely fantastic. But you know, that's, like I say, health, it should be one of your number one priorities, because if you're not there to be able to, you know, support your family or be a support network for your friends or whatever it is that you need to do for other people, or just generally live a happy life, well then it's not much fun, is it? So what I've done is put together these naturopath facilitated health programs. So we put in place all those things I spoke about before, that support, that individualized treatment, that one-on-one, and we focus on diet, exercise, and well-being, and it's individually tailored to suit you and your lifestyle. So we also want to make healthy change that sees results and lasts. And I've decided to call it the Resolution Revolution. But don't wait until New Year's. Let's jump on it now. This is the time when we start thinking about it. We don't have to put anything in place yet. But what I want to do with people is to start thinking about it now, to get onto this now with me. We can do the first consult. We can get in and do a health appraisal. We can do goal setting. We can come up with that plan, so you have that plan in your hands ready to start for New Year, for the 1st of January. You know, it's really important to jump in and tap into this energy that's going on at the moment with New Year. So I've set up these programs, 3 different levels, 3 different pricing schedules, but there are also options, payment plan options for the larger of the 2. So you might just need the Kickstart, which is a 2-week program, where you get a health appraisal and goal setting session. That's your initial consult, 1 to 1.5 hours. These you can do if you're local, close enough to Kingscliff, in clinic with me. But if you're not from around here, we can do it face-to-face over Skype, which works fantastically. And then you get your plan of action ready to go for the 1st of January. You then get a wrap-up session after the 2 weeks, 30 minutes. We go over how you went, what you did. In the meanwhile, you do get phone and email support. So if you've got questions, if you've got, you know, you find anything tricky, you ring me up. We have a chat about it, or you email me, whatever's easiest. You also in this get a 2-week supply of supplements, so nutritional or herbal supplements, depending on what's going on, but enough to last you the 2 weeks and give you that kickstart in whatever area you need. Now, the Reset is a 6-week program. It's $350 upfront or $390 in a payment plan. So if you're interested in the payment plan, get in touch with me tomorrow or send me an email and I can discuss that with you. This also includes your initial health appraisal and goal setting, your plan of action ready to start. Now, you get a check-in session at week 3. And this is where we go, okay, you've done 3 weeks on your own. With that phone and email support if you need it. We do our check-in session face-to-face over Skype or in clinic for 30 minutes. And then you also get your wrap-up session at the end. You get up to $150 worth of supplement support, so nutritional or herbal supplements that I either give you if you're in here or I post to you if you're elsewhere. And that is individually tailored and decided upon when we are in our sessions together. You get phone and email support, and you also get access to the private Facebook support page, which is fantastic. So anybody who is also on the New Year's resolution revolution will get access to this page, so you can use other people for support, see what they're going through, you know, share recipes. It's a fantastic way to be able to keep motivated and keep on track. And now the biggie is the transform, 12 weeks. 12 weeks is a really important length of time to make lasting change, and important for those situations that might need much more of a kick, or, you know, that may have been more chronic or may have been more longer lasting. So this one, you get your health appraisal as well. You get your plan of action ready to start 1st of January. You get the 3 check-in sessions. Oh, my spelling is out of whack there. But we get a check-in session, 30 minutes, either in clinic or over Skype at week 3, week 6, and week 9. They're 30 minutes each. Then your wrap-up session at the end. You get up to $250 worth of supplement support with this one, phone and email support, and access again to the private Facebook support page. So these are fantastic packages. You can either come and run a package, or, you know, come and see me consult by consult if you would prefer. But I think when you do the package, you know what you're dedicating yourself to at the beginning. You know how long it's going to take for you to do it. You know your inclusions, and you know you're going to stick to it. And I think this is what's really going to help with making sure our New Year's resolutions stick. So these are the packages. Ring me up and have a chat about them. Use your free 15-minute phone consult. If you have private health insurance, you can still apply the rebates to these packages. But because the health insurance companies want you to be able to only claim after you've seen me for a consult, I send you an invoice after each individual consult, so after the first and then after the second and third, or however many that you're seeing as part of your package. And then you have to go online, unfortunately, and do the online rebates after that particular session. But you can get your health run rebates, which is going to drop the price of this even more, which is absolutely fantastic to be able to offer people. So how does that look to everybody? I'm pretty excited about this. If the packages are not for you at this point of time, I don't want you to miss out. Online on my website, kingscliffnaturopathy.com.au, there's a website at the bottom there. I've posted up a free ebook called the Silly Season Survival Guide. It's your guide to finishing 2015 fresh and starting 2016 strong. It's got some great tips on how to get through the silly season. It's also got some wonderful New Year's resolutions, activities in there. So a reflection and a mindfulness activity and worksheet. So you can write down what it was you were grateful for in 2015, what you need to change in 2016, how you're going to go about it. It's got some fantastic healthy holiday recipe sources, and it's also got a printable survival checklist. So jump online, jump onto the website, download that, and that will definitely get you on the way and get you started if the packages are not right for you at this point in time. And look, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. I hope that it's been a little bit enlightening in regards to what naturopathy is all about. I hope that, you know, you might be interested in looking at how to get your resolutions on track, happening, and being able to make lasting change for 2016, and that 2016 is going to be a wonderfully happy and healthy year for you, because we all deserve it. And look, thank you so much for opting in. Please share this tomorrow with friends when I put out the recorded one, or share the link to the survival checklist if you think they would be interested. And I wish you such a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.